2, 1.
Wow, that was quick.
Live on YouTube, anyway.
3, 2, 1, go.
3, 2, 1, go.
Hi, YouTube.
Hi, YouTube.
I feel like I'm quiet. For some reason.
I feel like I'm freezing to death.
Sorry about the headphones. Somebody stole his back, bastard. Anyway,
I could buy a new set of several
I
headphones.
have the unicorn ones. I just don't wear them.
How many outputs do we have over there?
4
total?
And it's not Bluetooth compatible.
Oh, what do you mean? For the headphones?
Yeah.
Oh,
for
there's like
monitor.
6, I
Oh,
think.
hello.
6.
Okay.
6. I can't count.
All right.
We just need something with a long cord.
I know what I'm going to do for Thanksgiving for everyone
You dirty boy.
this year.
All right, ready, boys?
What are you going to do? Buy us a longer cord?
Yeah. Yeah.
5.
So I don't have to rest this one in your lap anymore.
4. 3. Before this devolves. 2.
I like when you wiggle it.
Hello and welcome to the Freemasons podcast with your hosts, Right Worshipful Brother George Mudry.
Worshipful Brother Joe.
And worshipful brother Ken.
And today's episode, we are going to be talking about 14 places to receive. Oh, son of a bitch. It kicked me out. There we go. 14 places to receive the Masonic secrets. It's a website that I had found to unearth Masonic secrets. It's off of atlasobscura.com.
They got some good stuff on that website.
/list/Freemason -secrets -temples -blah.
Or you could just Google 14 places to unearth Masonic.
I just wanted to keep going. I mean, for the hell with it. Why not? We're going to talk about it. We're going to see what this is all about. They start off with Novus Ordo Seclorum.
Yeah.
New World Order.
It's a good way to open.
New World. There you go. See, I set you up with that one.
I'm not coming out playing the belt though. But anyway, so
It's not a belt you're playing.
do we have likes? Do you have likes?
Let me check, please. Give me one.
While we're at it, we're going to be giving a shout out to Litchfield Distillery. They gave us, well, they didn't give us, but
I was going to say they gave it to us. We got to go back there.
$15.99. They gave it to us. It's a spiked lemonade, ready to drink cocktail.
A great local distillery.
I've never had this. It's going to be interesting.
All right, we have a couple likes, I believe, since last time. I know I mentioned Brother Charles Lupo from Ashlar Aspect Lodge number 142. After him, we have Michael John, Ben Davis, James Ellis.
All right. And that's all we got for right now.
That's all we got for right now.
All right. Let's see any new ones on Instagram here.
While Ken's doing that, I'm gonna look up
Apple.
I don't know why it's not showing up. I still haven't seen it, but we're gonna try it. See what happens.
Only one new follower on Instagram, actually.
One new follower. And you got a name?
Yep, Dylan Wells.
Dylan Wells. All right.
Dylan Wells.
Tell me you're not singing Christmas music. Jesus God. I had to listen to my daughter all freaking week with this Christmas stuff.
I'm in the valley.
Drives me nuts. Anyway, you read them, lead them.
All right. Brothers, right hand to arm.
To arms.
Ready.
Aim.
Fire, good fire, fire all. Together, brothers.
Vivat, vivat, vivat. All right. And the Apple review is still a no-go. I don't know why it takes so freaking long. I'll have to look it up again. I apologize. But anyway, this one should be interesting. I'm going to read it, and then we'll go through it location by location. There's 14 of them that we can apparently unearth Masonic secrets.
And if anybody listening has been to any of these places, chime in on YouTube comments, and we'll go ahead and read some of them.
Definitely. Before we get into this, though, let's do a little bit of housekeeping. We have a Patreon. Joe, do you want to talk about how to become a Patreon?
Oh yes, a Patreon. For as little as $3 a month, you will join Patreon and get exclusive access to Patreon content. And now, in order to constantly improve our podcast, we've got a new platform that we're using for chat. Discord has gone bye-bye. We're now on Slack. So look for the Freemasons podcast on Slack, which is also part of your Patreon subscription for as little as $3 a month. In addition to that, you will get a gold-toned Freemasons podcast pin.
And we also have a Secret Santa.
Oh, yes, we do have a Secret Santa for our Slackers. But yeah, for as little as $3 a month, check out the Freemasons podcast on Patreon.
Beautiful. All right, let's get into it then. Novus Ordo Seclorum, 14 places to unearth Masonic secrets. This was written by Christ Almighty. Not him. But Kavya Ram Mohan.
Okay.
All right. We're
Is that a place?
We're going to go with that.
person?
No, it's the person. We're going to go with that. And he writes, he, she, whoever writes, where Freemasons go, mystery and intrigue follow. Not where we go.
Yeah. Other things follow. Yeah. Sirens, squad cars.
The centuries-old fraternal organization is often described as the world's largest secret society. While its existence has long been acknowledged, only members know what takes place within their magnificent lodges and at their exclusive meetings. Real quick, I just want to point out the reason why we're all in jackets and Ken is bundled up like a freaking Eskimo over there is because it's, I don't know, maybe pushing 40 degrees up there.
It's been chilly.
We didn't turn the heat on beforehand, so it's a little cold.
It's not like last week when Raph was testing it and it was at 90 degrees.
Yeah, I know, right? We had like flip-flops and shorts last week. This week we're all bundled up.
We need Raph managing the thermostats.
They're
in this
going to
place.
catch a cold.
Gonna have to install a smart thermostat
Nest.
so you can just program it from your phone.
I don't understand how it's colder in here than it is outside.
It's freaking cold.
Like, how is that possible?
I don't know. Anyway, the Masons began as a simple trade guild for builders in the Middle Ages. Over centuries, morphed into social organization resembling ancient religious orders with symbolism, elaborate costumes, and strict rules governing the conduct of members. As their ideals and rituals spread around the world, renowned men, and yes, it's pretty much only men, such as George Washington, Mozart, Voltaire, Mark Twain became members, but only after a rigorous admission process and being sworn to secrecy. As a result, many myths have come to surround the order, and while some of these have been clarified, a large part of the Masonic ethos remains unknown to outsiders. The curious may find clues lurking in the order's lavish lodges and temples in the cities around the world, in some of which were once hidden and inaccessible, but now can be visited and explored. Here are 14 spots where the Freemasons have left their enduring mark. Dun, dun, dun.
So it's not so much our secrets or like buried gold or anything. It's just where we've done interesting things.
Where we've left our mark.
Yeah.
So,
Okay. Where we're going to take a metaphoric Masonic poop to mark our territory.
Yeah. Lifted our leg for the
I'm
craft.
taking a just taking a quick look back, seeing what's being written over here.
Oh, it's all about Ken. It's
Yeah,
funny.
it
Things
has to be,
like
right?
servers run better in the cold. Ken should do well. That was from Worship Brother Joe Schultz from Worship Brother Greg Schultz. Frosty's cold. He's going to get whiter as the blood drains from his head.
Like your brothers.
George is going to read. Pay attention. All right.
Did George just speak Latin? No, it was just George lingo. So good stuff. The slackers are in rare form tonight.
And how do you jump on the Freemasons YouTube page, Joe? And how do you get notified?
Oh, you got to smash that like and smash that subscribe button.
Yeah.
Go
Hit the
ahead.
notification bell.
Make sure the bell's on too.
Ding, ding.
Keith Noonan, Mark Masonic territory. George been pissing up statues. That's why he's getting booted. God.
Well, because I don't think you're tall enough to pee down on the statue.
No.
So none of us are.
All right. First location. It's moving on here.
Yeah. it's-
Zedekiah's Cave. This one to me is extremely interesting, and I'll tell why in a minute. The Freemasons started holding ceremonies in this cave in 1868, thought to have been first commissioned by King Solomon, and the Freemasons of Israel continue to hold an annual ceremony in it every year.
That's cool.
Mhm.
That would
Pretty
be
ancient
something.
cave.
That it could be a Masonic bucket list item.
I talked this also when we were covering the Knights Templar, and this is also have been rumored to be the escape route of the Knights Templar
okay.
who were in Jerusalem during the siege of Saladin. They had found that there were, now mind you, this cave is thousands of years old, hundreds of years old, right? They had found that there were walls that were built similar to medieval type of construction of defensive. So like you'd have a wall,
to make like a choke point.
Make like choke points underneath there.
Yeah. I thought you were going to talk like flying buttresses in the cathedrals.
No. like choke points
that makes sense.
And the cave is very vast and extensive, and it fingers out in all different directions.
And it's a natural cave too. I think it was like lava tubes or something like that. But they built into it. Ancient peoples built into it,
and I think they also that's where they quarried a lot of the things for the
King Solomon's temple,
the temple above. I believe that's where a lot of it was quarried. Could be wrong on that. But it was it's been long suggested by, actually it was a show, again I'll cite it on the History Channel. It was a really good one too. It was what was it, Lost, the Knights Templar or something like that. Okay. You guys can look it up, and it was two guys who were one guy was a battlefield archaeologist, so he goes to like battlefields and he can figure out what happened and how it happened during a battle.
Yep.
And the other guy was what the hell was he? Some sort of a historian or whatever, but they were down in Zedekiah's cave, and they had made the assumption that when Jerusalem was sacked, that this is how they got out. Because mind you, the Knights Templar, their headquarters was the Alaska Mosque, which was where they housed all their horses and stabled all their horses and all that stuff, and that's where their headquarters was. So the assumption that they all went to the Horns of Hattin, every Knights Templar just up and went to this battle in the Horns of Hattin and left their headquarters unguarded by non-Templars.
Yeah, it's not military.
It's not
smart.
Yeah. So when the siege of Jerusalem was going on, they were there and they realized, we gotta get the fuck out of here. Yeah. So they went and used Zedekiah's cave and I do find it interesting that Masons, and again, be clear, there's no direct ties that have been found.
None that are known.
Between the ancient Templars and ancient
Modern
Freemasonry or stone guilds or whatever. But
where there's smoke, there's often fire.
Some historians are looking at that, and there are some scholarly articles and books that have been published to that end. But yeah, there's no definitive evidence.
Correct.
One way or the other.
All right, so that's one. I would love to go there.
I would love to go there too. If only we knew like a forensic geologist that could
maybe open some doors,
maybe help us out.
Brother Scott Walter, can we hide in your luggage, please?
Straight up.
No, we'll be his roadies.
I could fit in his microphone case.
So there are brothers that still they still hold meetings in that cave every once in a while.
Once a year, I think you said.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
We should figure out which lodge does that, and maybe
I can fit in Scott Walter's microphone bag.
Ken will be in like
Ken's an elemental
cello. He'll be a big cello
walls.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to
they won't even see him.
They won't even see him through TSA. He'll be totally fine.
We're all white.
I'll have to hide in his golf bag or something.
I haven't figured out one for Joe yet, though. How would he get through?
You'd probably stick me down underneath with the dogs. Make me an Irish setter or something. The red one's an Irish setter. Stick them underneath.
See, we're all going to get there.
All right, next one. Masonic Lodge of the Andes Hotel. This is in London, England. Built in 1912, it was hidden behind a wall for decades and was only rediscovered during renovations. Neoclassic in style, the opulent windowless room is known as the Grecian Temple.
Grecian
Temple?
Yeah, so it's like Greek.
Greecian?
Yeah, like
Greek,
as in Greek, yeah.
I've never heard of this, to be honest with you.
Yeah, I've never heard of this either.
Formula.
It's interesting. So apparently it was a Masonic... What do you say?
As in the formula.
Grecian formula, like darken your hair.
It was just for men back in the day.
Yeah.
Oh,
it's called Grecian
they used to call it.
Before my time.
Pete Rose, I think, used Grecian formula.
Yeah, it worked for him.
I never had a problem with my hair turning gray. It just falls out and doesn't come back. Then I look like a
It's
leopard.
looking kind of blonde right now.
It's a
lighter color.
Starting to grow back a little bit. For those who don't know, I had some sort of an alopecia thing going on where I was losing blotches of hair like Peter Griffin in Family Guy where he's cutting his hair out.
Winter is coming. You need that hair back.
That's what happens when you go to the catwalk. Told you
No,
to stay away from
no.
We were doing so well staying on topic.
I'm
there for,
sorry.
Yeah, we were trying.
5 minutes.
All right, the
and-
Grecian.
Interestingly, though,
Right.
this says it was hidden behind a wall. So I'm assuming the Andaz Hotel was a hotel that apparently was hiding a Masonic lodge room in it somewhere.
Yeah, they just walled it off.
They
Like,
walled
Either
it
that,
off.
or maybe it was like one of those
Weird.
secret, false walls back in the day, and they didn't realize it, so they just built over it.
Right.
Like maybe it had like a little lever or something where it did the old switcheroo.
Perhaps maybe also the Masonic Lodge. I don't know if Masons were persecuted in England at any point in time, but perhaps maybe this was like a speakeasy, slide a dollar in between
Maybe.
the wall and they let you into the lodge or
Potentially, yeah.
We'd have to look at like the timing of everything, but I mean, Nazis did not like Freemasons, and there was
They occupied
time-
London at a
Yeah,
lot,
there
yeah.
was a time where they were like, oh, well, the Third Reich might be rolling in here, so
Kind
maybe
of board it
that's
up to
what-
preserve it.
Yep.
It's kind of like that room in Harry Potter. Remember when he put the army together and they had that little room?
Oh, the room of requirement.
something like
Maybe you had to go into like the buttress of the wall. It was like, what is it,
flying
13,
buttress. We're back to the
right?
flying buttresses now. Yeah.
13,
Yeah.
13 and a quarter, right?
Oh,
Was it
the
from
9
Harry-
and 3/4.
9 and 3/4.
Oh
That
my
was
God,
Harry
you gotta
Potter.
go back and read those books, George. You can't roll with me and Joe.
I seen the movies. I don't
Oh,
read books.
God.
I got 2 books I read. That's it. One of which I continually do. Anyway,
Where's
moving
the
on.
other? And the other one you color in.
All right, so 3 then. Never mind.
Okay.
Here we go. There we go. Without a doubt, I've been here, and this place is great. Washington D.C., House of the Temple.
Yeah.
Oh,
This-
that's an amazing building.
Yep. This massive Masonic temple was built in 1915, and inside it, visitors are treated to awe-inspiring vaulted ceilings and Greek Egyptian designs in marble. It houses over 250,000 works of Masonic literature.
Mhm.
Yeah. Let
Yeah,
me tell you,
it's impressive. It's
It is.
extremely
Yeah.
impressive.
very cool. It's open to the public.
Yeah.
Anybody can go visit it. And
Yeah, they have
their
tours.
main room is
Special tours for
Purple
those who happen
marble.
to be able to prove their Masonic affiliation as well.
yes,
Yes.
that's
Yes.
true.
Yeah.
On a side note, on top of that, I can't remember what is it. Know thyself is actually carved into the Tyler's chair. That's pretty cool.
I mean, it makes sense.
I've been there once, and it was incredible just to see it. The amount of time and effort that goes into this building, and
Yeah, it's
going through all
something
the
else.
oh god, you guys will like this one
And
coming up.
money.
And money, right?
Yeah.
Not this one, but the next one you guys will enjoy. But this one, Alexandria, Virginia, the George Washington Masonic National Memorial.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I have not been there yet.
I have been
Me
there.
neither, but I've seen a lot about it, and I'd love to go.
I
there
would
sometime in
absolutely
DC.
love to go.
The memorial is a tribute to noted Mason and first U.S. President George Washington. It stands 333 feet tall,
Mhm.
Interesting.
consisting of 9 floors, dedicated to Washington, Freemasonry, and specific rites of appending bodies. Yes, every level you go up is a different rite. So, like,
Mhm.
level 1 will be just George
Lodge,
Washington
yeah.
stuff, and then level 2 will be it'll be like Scottish rite. Next one will be chapter. Next one will be council. Next one will be commandery.
Okay, so they have
Shrine.
a floor for every
Boom. They have
appendant
a-
body, every order.
And if you maybe float a dues card, they take you up to the top of the.
The top, which is an unfinished pyramid.
Yeah.
correct? Yeah.
I think it's an obelisk actually, but I could be wrong. I don't remember exactly off the top of my
Yeah,
head.
I think it's an obelisk.
But there's a you can go up on like a balcony thing and look down, and
Yeah, no, I'm not.
it's.
But you have to be a Mason to do that.
I don't even like to go up and clean my
I
gutters.
flashed the dues card and I told him what lodge I was from, and he took me up there.
Really?
So, and you look down on the first off, the walkway is like a spiral
Oh, yeah.
S
Yeah.
walkway, which I mean, you can go allegory all day long with that, with,
Yeah.
you know, caduceus or whatever you want. I've seen that brought up.
You didn't throw up on anyone, did you?
I did not throw up on anyone. I'm not a big fan of heights. It's
Right,
a
me
story
neither.
for another time. But
Maybe
then,
that could be a future Patreon episode. Our biggest fears.
yeah,
Because
Patreon
everyone wants to
content.
know what our fears are.
Yeah, we're human.
we are human.
Yes. Kind of.
Half robots.
Some of us.
The next one. This one pains me to say.
Oh, is this the one that we're supposed to be all about? Okay.
Batavia, New York. Sound familiar, boys?
I mean,
Oh, is
know
that,
it's down in New York?
Morgan?
Ding, ding, ding,
Yeah,
ding,
that's
ding.
the Morgan.
Oh,
Yeah,
Morgan
okay.
Monument. Tell them what he's won.
Lucinda Pendleton.
The cemetery
Yeah, sweet,
monument.
sweet Lucinda. Congratulations.
You made the list.
Yeah.
I'm carrying what me and Ken have named Sweet Lucinda.
No, you named her that, and that's a great name, by the way.
I thought we came up with that. I thought that was a
I don't
collaboration.
think so.
Oh,
No, I just
whatever.
love Lucinda Pendleton. So I saw that black and white photograph of her and immediately fell in love.
It's like you're like BB King, only different.
Yeah.
Or was it
That was still a-
Lucille was his
Lucille.
guitar,
If
right?
you want- what was that episode 16? Me and Joe came up with that. That was a great freaking episode, man.
Probably one
When
of
we
those
didn't
episodes I
realize she was a
remember.
ginger.
Oh God, yes.
Oh, yeah, that was-
It's like, oh my god,
That explains it all.
I think it was. I think I even said it. I'm like, could you imagine if she was a ginger?
It's hard
And I
to-
found like a
And you're
color
like,
picture.
let's look for a picture.
yeah, it
And
was
then
hard
at the
to find
same
color pictures
time,
back then.
we came up with the same. Holy shit, she is a ginger. The cemetery
I don't
monument.
care if she's a ginger. I still love her. Don't care.
You should have another kid just so you could try for a girl and name it Lucinda.
Yeah, my wife would shoot me.
Doc.
I think
She
you could
watches the
probably.
show.
So, have you guys seen the
You can
movie
have a-
Event Horizon?
Oh, yeah.
You
You
could
referenced
totally pull Sam Neill out of that role and stick Lucinda in there, right? In the end,
I don't remember.
can you
that
see
one.
when she's trying to drag him to
Yeah,
hell?
you're right.
Can you see?
Oh, see, I'm confusing it with I'm confusing it with the Marky Mark one with the oil rig. Where was that? Deepwater Horizon. or
Oh,
something?
yeah, yeah.
That's
no,
what I've
no,
got
no.
in my head.
No, this was different and
By the way, one of the
horrible.
creepiest movies I've ever seen.
Yeah,
To this day, Event Horizon definitely tightens the sphinx there. It's a
I thought it was a
It's a-
sci-fi movie. It's like a weird
No.
psychological thriller horror.
well, what they
piece.
did was they took a horror movie and they tied it with a
Yeah.
Sam
and
Neill's
not
the
like
guy
that
from
shitty
Jurassic
movie
Park, right?
Life, right? With that weird, like, I don't know, flubber looking thing that Ryan Reynolds and was eating people and all that stuff. You haven't seen this movie either?
No.
Holy shit. Moving on.
Yeah.
The Morgan Monument. The cemetery monument honors Captain William Morgan, who disappeared in 1826.
Mhm.
Soon after he threatened to expose the mysteries of the order in a book. It is widely accepted that he was drowned by members of the Masonic order. Of course, no.
What year?
I don't
was
know
this?
that that's widely accepted.
That's what he
I
wrote.
think it's widely accepted that he disappeared and the Masons were
Here's the
responsible in
problem
some way.
with a freaking narrative. It catches on like a wildfire, and then all of a sudden it's accepted as true. We've already established that Lucinda was the problem.
Yeah.
So
Brother Greg Schultz finds it ironic that George has a fear of heights. He's got a point, though.
I don't have a fear of heights anymore.
And then looks like Keith Noonan is going to put Raph on OnlyFans next. That's our next
Oh.
platform.
Okay.
We can go on TikTok.
I don't know what that is, but
I don't know what it is.
Look it up.
Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, Masonic Temple of Philadelphia. This place I have
Okay.
not been.
Yeah.
I have. Amazing.
1873, the New York Times described this lavish structure as the largest, costliest, and most magnificent structure consecrated to masonry in the world. Tell us about
I would say that it rivals DC.
Really?
I would absolutely. I've been to both, and it rivals the House of the Temple. I believe it was built much earlier, which is even why it's more phenomenal. It's just from the marble in there. There's these doors that weigh 2 tons, but they're perfectly balanced by the people that built them, so that you can just move the door with one finger.
Really?
And there's some other really cool things about it. There's this huge room at the top of a staircase. For those that have been there, it's where all the stained glass windows are, and you're looking at the paintings around there, and it looks like, just little hand painted stuff with little filigree or whatever. And when you get a closer look at it, you actually see it's all the fingerprints of the people that worked on the building. But you got to
That's
get
cool.
super close to see that that's
wow.
what it is. But from the way, you would never know.
That's really cool.
There's they've got 7 or 8 lodge rooms, maybe more. They've got your Egyptian rooms. There's a few secret rooms that you can get into with a
Interesting.
dues card if the public isn't there. Every time I go to Philadelphia, which God, I've been there at least a half dozen times in the last 10 years. Every time I make it a point to go on that tour,
Wow.
you see something different every time.
Very cool.
Just
I
really,
will
really
definitely-
cool place.
That's a bucket list
Road
for
trip,
me.
yeah.
Never been there.
And it's closer than DC.
True. Yeah. Oh, I was at 2 hours from here.
About
Earlier?
3.
3 hours.
About
Yeah,
3.
DC's like what, 5.5.
Yeah, if you're
Yeah,
lucky.
If you're
Depending
lucky,
on the
right?
route.
As soon as you hit the outskirts.
Until I was gonna say until you're 45 minutes away, and then it takes you 3 hours.
Yep.
No, but Philly, Grand Lodge of Pennsylvania and Philly, I couldn't recommend more. Just there's so many cool things that like half of them are just escaping my head right now. In their library, they've got George Washington's original apron, the one that you see in all the pictures.
Mhm.
That's there. The real one is there.
Damn.
A sash from Ben Franklin. They actually have Tom Thumb's Masonic apron there. No, it's not a shot at you. They actually have it there.
That's cool.
But yeah, there's just so much in the architecture there. It's just amazing. Absolutely amazing.
No, I was laughing at the name Tom Thumbs, right?
Thumb.
Thumb.
Singular.
Oh, Thumb. Tom Thumb.
He's the
Oh,
guy from the
Thumb.
circus, the little
It's a
guy.
little short.
Yeah, I was just thinking like Joe Pesci saying it. Like, hey, it's Tommy
Hey,
Thumbs.
Tommy Thumbs.
It's Tommy Thumbs.
Yeah, no,
Not
that one.
But yeah,
It's like,
there's
he goes,
so
Bobby
many
the
cool
Butcher.
things.
You're really a butcher, but you know that's how he got his name. I'm just saying, Tommy the Thumbs. No?
Other cool thing. Go on the interwebs and look up some of the lodge rooms at the Grand Lodge of Philadelphia, and you're going to see all these ornate rooms.
Mhm.
And then it's all plaster. It's all plaster to look like wood, to look like all these different things. It's just amazing. I love that place.
I'm still coming up with your mob name.
We're
okay?
going.
Joey Souls.
Joey No Soul.
Joey No Soul.
What, he got flat feet? No, he's a ginger. He still souls.
Red Joe.
I do have flat feet though too, so it actually works.
Barcelona, Spain. Rosend Arus Masonic
You
Library.
have to say it like the hipsters. Barcelona.
Barcelona.
Hmm.
Once the home of Rosend Arus, an influential journalist and playwright of the 1800s who used his Freemason associations for political favor. It was later a Masonic temple and then a library dedicated to Freemasonry. I don't know if that's such a good story.
No, I mean, it turned out okay.
Yeah,
because
it turned
was
out
dead,
okay.
you
It turned out
know,
a library. but-
basically turned into a museum and library. But yeah, we don't use our affiliation with the craft for political or economic gain.
Yeah, no.
Or we're not supposed to anyway.
From what I can tell, I'm just looking at the picture here. It just looks like it's like a shop front type place. It doesn't look like it's anything, no elaborate building or anything. So, interestingly enough,
Sometimes those are the coolest Masonic artifacts, though, are those buildings that
Oh, big
don't
s-
look like anything until unless you're a Mason, you know where they are and you go and you can take a
Right.
tour or,
I'm not a big fan of like libraries, like Masonic libraries. Like, hey, look at all their Masonic books. I'm like, yeah, it's freaking great. Like, I don't care. Like, I don't care. Like, I want to see some cool shit on the walls.
Can I
Like,
color in those?
yeah.
Then they're
Where's
useless.
the goofy shit on the walls? I don't want to see. You mean like shenanigans? Oh, no.
But I mean, the
Super
cool
Troopers,
thing.
I know he didn't fucking watch it.
No, I didn't. The cool
course
thing
you did.
about that, though, is like you can find. So you've read a lot of Masonic books, right? We all have.
Define
Sometimes-
a lot.
Well, a few. Whatever. You could find like original texts of those books, right?
Like original volumes.
Okay.
Yeah, if it's like an 1820s book that you read or a 1717 book, there might be like a first
I think
copy, a first run of that book.
Right.
first
Like you might see
edition.
a Duncan's original
Yeah.
volume.
I think I got
that's
my
cool, man.
I think I got my Morals and Dogma. I think it's 1919 is it's dated. That's the oldest book
So
I've ever
that's
read.
that's old, but it's not a first edition.
Right.
It's not-
Imagine-
some of these libraries have
Yeah.
that stuff.
They have some of them have first editions, like the first
manuscripts.
one that was very exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm
Everybody's
not
got
my
their
bag,
thing.
baby.
You like pictures? That's cool.
I like pictures.
Yeah, it's fun.
3D glasses and coloring books, or like like the markers that like you have. It's like on like the special paper. You know what I'm talking about, right?
Or you-
Like the yellowish one where you.
No, it's white.
Yeah, you don't
But when
even
you
have to
color
know
in
what
certain
color.
areas, it changes color, right? You know what I'm talking about?
I think
It's like
so.
it's like a magic marker. I think it's called
Yeah,
something like
but
that.
the marker itself is like white with an orange cap on it, and
Yeah,
it looks
and-
almost like a highlighter. But
yes.
Yes,
They have
I-
the smelly ones from the.
I used to do like mystery games and stuff like that. Or
The paper has like the pigment in it already, so you don't even have to know how to color. You just kind of like
And the licorice
scribble all
marker you
over
always
it.
threw against the freaking wall because who the hell likes black licorice?
nobody. Nobody.
Tappan, New
Probably
York.
probably the Schultz brothers because they're old.
You like licorice?
They're like
Jesus Christ.
sarsaparilla.
Tappan, New York.
Weirdo.
German Masonic home of Tappan, permanently closed. And it's like in bold, big letters. Like, if you go here, you will get arrested, like on Charles Island. The German Masonic home for years acted as a home for infirm Masons.
No, I think it means like
INFIRM.
infirm.
Oh, infirm.
Do you know what infirm means?
I'm a child, all right?
You don't
That's
know,
not what
dude.
first came to mind.
Infirm is an old term for people who are sick.
Yeah, it's like
George.
Masonic here.
It's like a hospital.
You're making fun
You're
of sick
laughing
Masons
at sick Masons.
that probably died.
Being infirm is still a form of being
It's
sick.
not
No, it's
unfirm
not. It's not
or
what it
lack of
means.
firmness.
Yeah.
All right.
It's a home for
I-
infinite Masons.
I
Yeah,
apologize. I'll wait for the ghost of the lodge to throw a beer can at me from across the room.
Yeah, you deserve it.
Anyway, home for infirm Masons, their widows and orphans. While the structure exterior appears much as it did in decades past, its interior is in various states of decay. And just looking at this picture, it looks shot.
So it's like an old hospital, right? There's a lot of those in Connecticut.
This one room that I'm looking
yeah,
at.
it's probably like Fairfield Hills that
Yeah.
they turned into a brewery.
Yep.
So it's like a Masonic here that's just basically in shambles.
Yeah,
in a
but like an
sense.
old, almost like you would
Old
see
one,
the
yeah.
old brick, almost like Xavier's House for Gifted
Yeah.
Youngsters
like an
style.
old asylum that kind of got closed down and never reopened because it
Exactly.
was too difficult to maintain or whatever. Yeah,
Or they closed it in Scandal.
yeah
those
that
types
happened
of
too.
Chicago, Illinois, the Stan Mansion.
Okay.
Immediately, first thing that came to my head is two little kids on bike riding down the hallway going, la, 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 la.
I
See,
thought
the
it was
thing
going to
that
be
creepy. Go ahead.
I thought it was going to be like the Masonic building in Chicago because wasn't that like the tallest building at a certain point?
I think
It
so.
may, it may come up in here. This is the
Okay.
Stan Mansion.
Right,
The
I'll
grandiose
check.
building, originally erected in 1923
You're
to
gonna laugh
house.
at erected too?
No, I'm not going to laugh at that one. To house and chapter of the Knights Templar, which has long been associated with Masonry. The temple took just 6 months to construct and remained a Masonic lodge for most of its years. I've never heard of this place. Actually.
No, neither have I.
Stan Mansion, huh?
So it says Stan Mansion.
Okay. Do some digging.
We'll move on from that one because I don't know much about it. Some of these we're gonna have to go back. Oh Christ! I just see another one here, but we'll get to it in a minute. We'll have to go back to some of these and revisit them and kind of maybe for a future
Yeah, I'm
podcast.
surprised I don't know all of them. That's interesting.
Paris Français,
Oh Christ, it's France.
the Grand Lodge of France.
Do we even recognize them anymore?
Is it the Grand Lodge or the Grand Orient of France?
The Grand Lodge of France, it says. In the 1970s, the Grand Lodge opened a part of its private collections revealing precious Masonic regalia, swords, Masonic aprons, jewels, medals, and thousands of ritual objects that were kept in secrecy for 2 centuries. From what it looked like, it looks a very modern building. I'm looking at aprons that are in frames and in those, what are they called, the safety boxes or whatever, and they got
shadow boxes.
shadow boxes all along the walls. So it looks like obviously a Grand Lodge with a it's got a bunch of old goofy shit in there, and it's pretty cool. I guess it's a museum.
The fact that they have stuff going back that far is pretty interesting too, because the Nazis did occupy France, and there was a lot of Masonic artifacts that they took back to Berlin, or ended up in their possession and stuff. So the fact that that stuff still persists in the Grand Lodge of France is
Didn't they occupy
a good
France a
thing.
few times?
The Nazis.
Yeah, they
Well,
did.
1 and 2.
No. They only occupied France once in World War II. They did
yeah.
not.
They didn't go there in World War I?
Exist until World
They
War
got
II.
right
Well,
up.
the First Reich, I
Kaiser's,
should
yeah.
say.
They got right up
Yeah.
to the. They got right up to basically, I think it was like 72 miles outside of Paris, and then the British or the Americans came up with the invention of the tank, and that ended that.
Yeah.
New York. Chancellor Robert A. Livingston Masonic Library. I've heard about this before.
Yep.
Don't know much about it. But this library is one of the largest known collections of research on Freemasonry, which includes books, artifacts, memorabilia, and is a treasure trove of secrets. Interesting.
Okay, that's open ended.
I know this one's going to get picked apart, but I'm going to do it anyway.
Do it.
Bruges, Belgium. Bruges? So you say it? Bruges? Bruges?
Bruges. It's in Belgium.
Belgium.
Belgium. I don't know how you pronounce
Could
it.
be Bruges.
You ready for this one, boys? Here we go. Here comes the conspiracy theorist. This place is called the Lucifernum.
Oh boy. Which
Yeah.
probably literally means place of light.
Yeah.
Tell me there wasn't a knock on the door.
That was it.
Or a dog barking.
You trying to make me shit my pants over here?
It doesn't take
Not
much.
again.
I just made an old people joke 2 minutes ago. That probably
Yeah, exactly. The ghosts are really pissed off at him right now.
the Lucifernum originally housed a chapter of the Freemasons during the time of Napoleon, my uncle, and is today a private home of a local celebrity, Don Willie Retson. Don't know him.
No.
Who often opens his doors for wild parties among the strange portraits and curious artifacts he has accumulated.
Okay, we should know this guy then.
So let me get into these paintings that are on the wall.
Meanwhile, Joe and I have to figure out how to get an invite to this dude's wild parties. Mm,
We gotta know
We
something.
can
Ask the
talk our way
Schultzes. I'm
into
sure
it.
they've been there a couple times. It's got a lot of abstract art on the walls, like the weird, creepy art that's like people, but not really. It's
Jackson Pollock
all like-
stuff.
yeah, you know what I'm talking about. It's all distorted, like people's faces.
Like Picasso.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm not a.
I don't know if that.
person.
I don't understand why this would be one of the. I mean, it housed a chapter of Freemasons during the time of Napoleon. Big deal. There's a lot of lodges that. I think
There were
it's
a lot
been.
of private residences that.
I think
did
it's been
that, too.
aggrandized because a local celebrity grabbed.
Well,
hold of
it sounds like he's got Masonic artwork or artifacts or something in his house.
It doesn't say that though. It just says
Oh,
wild
that's
parties
what it
among strange portraits. Doesn't mean that they're Masonic portraits. It
No.
means he's got goofy shit on his walls. Like,
It could be like Epstein's place. What do you have? Clinton in a picture of Clinton in a blue dress or something weird?
careful.
No, I'm just saying it's a weird painting.
I don't remember hearing about that.
I'll find the link for you.
Good, you go for it. Just saying. Last time I looked up a link, they threw me out of a bunch of shit, so I'm good.
The stockings are hung by the chimney,
We have to redo that.
just like Jeffrey Epstein. And they hang themselves there. I love that line. Who wrote that? Was that you, Joe?
That was me.
That was
fucking.
I wrote
genius.
that.
Leiden, Netherlands, Masonic Temple, Lodge La Vertu. Interesting. This is in the Netherlands. Gideon!
Yeah. Where you at, Gideon?
Gideon?
What, Gideon? I haven't heard from you in a while. You
Brother
bastard.
G.
He's probably dealing with a lot of shit. I mean, this year sucked, huh?
Yeah, this is like the worst year to be
So,
involved in his.
I'm willing to
profession.
bet. We're going to invite Gideon back, right? He's going to come back just sunken, emaciated, right? Gray hair, no more long locks. He's going to be balder than me, right?
He's gonna look like House.
No.
He's gonna look like he's gonna have the limp
because
of
of all
the
the shit
Hugh
he's had to
Laurie.
go through this year,
Yeah.
COVID, being a doctor and whatnot.
No.
Hugh Laurie. He'll have the limp with the king. It'd be like House.
No. Europeans age like fine wine. He'll still look like Gideon. Mark my words.
I think Hugh Laurie was European.
Yeah, maybe.
So this place is called Masonic Temple Lodge La Vertu. I sound like freaking what's his name? Brad Pitt in what was that movie? Inglorious Bastards, remember?
Oh,
What he's like-
Arrivederci.
Yeah, Arrivederci. Buongiorno, right?
Buongiorno.
Manicotti.
Built in 1757, Lodge La Vertu is one of the oldest Masonic temples in the Netherlands. It started out as a student association, but grew out to a serious branch of the illustrious Freemason order. Interesting.
So it started off as like a college fraternity. Is that how am I
No.
reading that properly?
Student association.
Well, I'm gonna like Greek life, right? I mean, student association.
Oh.
That's what I'm thinking.
All right,
you
so this is the
become
one I
a
want to say.
Mason,
We're going there. Road trip, boys.
Speaking of Greek life, never mind.
Memphis, Tennessee. St. Peter's Spiritual Temple. Voodoo Village.
What?
Let's
Okay,
go.
I'm in. You had me at voodoo.
I have nothing to fear. I have no soul.
Yeah, Joe's clean no matter what.
Joe's going to show up with a bunch of monks from up north. Hold hands,
Sanctify that place.
Father Michael did say I had a soul, just for the record.
Did he though?
Yes, he did.
But we're not giving it back. Is that what he said?
We're all
St.
children of God.
St.
David.
Peter's Spiritual Temple. This sounds like a cool ass place. Voodoo Village. This reclusive Memphis neighborhood is home to decades worth of misunderstood Masonic folk art.
Well, maybe it's misunderstood because you call it Voodoo Village.
I mean, I'm looking at this place, and
That's
it's
not helping.
I'm looking at this place. It looks like a freaking. I mean, I'm just looking at one picture here, but it looks like
My basement.
You seen the movie House of a Thousand Corpses right in the front of the building?
No, that's that crappy Rob Zombie movie, right?
Yeah. The symbol of the Freemasons adorns many of
Oh,
the
Jesus Christ, Greg Schultz.
brightly colored folk art pieces that decorate many of the yards and buildings. So this is like a whole complex, clearly. This place is. I'm gonna look this up. Actually, I want to see this. St. Peter's Village. I gotta look at the picture of this. This place looks like an. I don't even know. What would you call this place?
Yeah, there's a lot going on there.
Adventure park for Freemasons?
The Holy Land in Waterbury.
I don't. Yeah, but I don't know that.
Right? We should go on a trip there.
I see a lot.
That's
of
where I
folk
think
art.
you can. I think you could like legitimately go in there.
I don't think you can get into Holy Land.
No, you got to know a
USA
guy.
anymore.
So I just
well, I
wanna
mean,
be-
I know some guys, but I think it's like permanently closed down.
So okay, so I'm looking at the pictures here.
I know a brother that we might be able to.
Are you guys looking at these pictures or no?
Yeah, I'm
No, I'm
checking them
reading
out.
Okay.
comments from.
It looks very
Greg
folk
Schultz.
arty, but I don't see how it's Masonic folk art.
It
It's
also
a lot
looks
of-
like it's something
yeah,
you
it's
can.
like Holy Land.
Yeah, it does look like Holy Land.
Yeah.
It looks like something you would disappear in.
It looks Amish to me.
Oh, there was.
That's where they hang the
Okay,
bodies.
so there's like an OES star, but it's the
That
wrong
double
direction.
cross thing. It looks like something out of the Undertaker's entrance. Or
Doesn't look
something.
like they ever cleaned that. And it could
I'm
use
telling
some
you.
paint.
It's
House
a
of a
little scary
Thousand
looking.
Corpses. Watch the movie. You'll see exactly what
It's
I'm
a little
looking at.
scary
But you're
looking.
more than welcome to look this up.
I mean, it's. I don't see how it's Masonic.
How did you pull? The guy who wrote this article. Where in the actual
And there's
hell
like a Chevy
did you-
Corsica parked in front of whatever the hell that
How about
is.
those two
Right?
freaking white wolves?
My mom
that
had
are in
one
the
of
front
those.
yard. There's
Yeah.
like these two weird white dogs just looking
Yeah,
at the
the
camera
weird
and
white
like,
dogs.
we eat people. You shouldn't be here, right?
It looks a little junkyard.
Um,
No,
It does.
I'm
Yeah.
just trying to figure
or
out
like a
how
United
this-
House wrecking for Masonic items.
How does it have anything to do with masonry, though? I haven't seen anything that's Masonic. or anything.
I think it's a stretch.
Okay. So here we go. I got a little story on it. Do you want me to read it or no?
Yes, go.
All right. As most locals would have it, it's St. Peter's Spiritual Temple, the Memphis neighborhood known to most who don't live. There is a voodoo. Well, most who don't live there. Oh, Christ. Who wrote this? Anyway, it's called the Voodoo Village. It's a haunted hub of strangeness responsible for stopped cars and voodoo curses. Yet in reality, it is simply a community that expresses their spirituality through homemade art, installations rife with Masonic imagery. Okay, so this is just
So it is
people-
folk arty. Like one of you said, it looks a little
Yeah.
folk arty, and it's probably using symbols that are not exclusive to Freemasonry.
Okay, legends about the off the beaten path neighborhood abound among the local teens, ranging from raving voodoo priests to ghosts to very real baseball bat wielding maniacs. These strange tales are thanks in no small part to the countless brightly colored folk art pieces that decorate many of the yards and buildings. The selection of strange pieces range wildly, with some of the pieces living up, down, to the superstitious, such as large cross with nails jut from every angle, while others appear as simply rainbow-colored fences and ladders. There is, however, a distinct Masonic influence to the pieces, with the symbol of the Freemasons adorning many of the pieces.
I didn't see any of that.
I didn't see any of that. The truth of the village, however, is not so sinister, yet still strange. Let's see here.
They're hoarders.
Yeah, I mean,
Okay.
Chevy Corsica. I
The
mean,
community
there's
that says it
symbolism
all
behind
right there.
that.
This we just segued into like something heavy shit here. The community was started in 1960s.
Rafferty?
but by spiritual leader named Wash Harris. Walsh. It says Wash, but I'm going to assume Walsh.
Maybe short for Washington.
Wash Harris, who named the neighborhood St. Peter's Spiritual Temple. Harris's followers seem to adhere to some form of mixed Christianity with a heavy dose of Masonic devotion. The odd lawn ornaments were created as fetishized.
That's a word.
Devotionals. And the strange and possibly cultish takeover of the area did nothing to assuage the fears of the, let's be honest, likely largely Caucasian Memphis locals who soon dubbed the area Voodoo Village.
Okay, so basically it was a guy who was
collected junk,
may or may not have been a Mason, was super eccentric, probably very religious too, and decided to make the entire neighborhood into a folky kind of vision of what he believed it should look like. Was he a Mason? Was that ever?
No, we have a listener's question here. Are the white dogs both named Ken? Question. The listeners.
If they're up for adoption, I want them.
Today, the community is still the target of near constant visits from teens and rabble-rousers looking to overcome some rite of passage, zooming in and out of the neighborhood to gawk and harass the people living there.
No, that's messed up.
So there's more than one people in there. Maybe, understandably, there have been verified accounts of people being chased off by baseball bat-wielding residents who are absolutely...
Get off my lawn. You're on my property.
Yeah, I mean, I would do that too.
Get off my lawn. Get off my lawn.
Just because I have brightly colored crap in my yard doesn't mean you can come and yell at me.
Who are absolutely not interested in being made into a regressive urban legend. All right, so this is what it says before you go.
So it's like the Melonhead.
Right. So it actually has a disclaimer here before you go.
Yeah. Don't get shot.
You're trespassing.
Don't be a douche.
Yeah, exactly.
Don't be a douche.
Rule number one.
Rule number
2.
Yeah.
Both apply. We should just send them a little Masonic
like a
Brother
pamphlet.
Josephus's rules.
Yeah, and a pamphlet.
They could hang that up.
This is a community that values its privacy. Nicely done. What did you do? You drop the pamphlet?
Yeah, he dropped the pamphlet.
Yeah, like 3 times because nobody was paying attention.
Oh, you heard it.
I said brochure.
The Voodoo Village mythos led to years of disturbances, harassment, even trespassing of mostly white teens from the city into its mostly black rural community. Today, a series of gates and fences cut off the property from outsiders, and it's commonly understood that the residents would like their privacy respected. Angry residents and gun ownership aside, voodoo is widely believed to be a source of woe to those who do not respect it.
Yeah, Memphis, Tennessee doesn't really strike me as a type of
earth and sea.
I mean, Memphis doesn't strike me as like a voodoo capital. I would think more.
Elvis was kind of screwed up.
Louisiana, the Bayou, New Orleans kind of thing.
Narlands.
Nah.
So
but not.
I got yelled at by my cousin. She lived down there for a while. She said Narlands.
I mean, maybe that's a thing in Memphis too. I'd have to do a little bit of digging, but that kind of surprises me a little bit.
I know voodoo spread quite wildly in the South.
Voodoo economics.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, it was all. It was very Cajun.
Well, Memphis is on the Mississippi River, right, or close to that. So they just hop the river right up.
Joseph Schultz, voodoo bat wielding maniacs. I'm in.
Greg Schultz, can't the computer read the text and give George a break? He's gonna have a headache after this.
I mean, so the guy who founded that area may have been maybe affiliated with Masonry or maybe have been fascinated by it or whatever, but I don't think everybody who lives there now is a Mason.
I have to do some research.
I wouldn't take
voodoo.
a pilgrimage there.
I would have to do some research on voodoo because I don't know much about voodoo, but is it compatible with Freemasonry?
I don't know enough about it to say that it's not.
I mean, voodoo is the whole dolls.
Well,
but Masonry doesn't.
That's the
teach.
perception of it. I don't think it's,
you know what I mean. The
reason
reason why I'm
form
asking
of paganism, right?
The reason why,
I think it still kind of like stems from Catholic ideals.
Well, the reason why I'm asking is because Voodoo has the whole Voodoo dolls, right? You know, they got the right all the stuff where you hurt people and you stab them and stuff like
But
that.
it doesn't necessarily mean that their ideology is based on like Satanism or anything.
No, I'm not saying
their
Satanism. I'm
ideology
saying
might be compatible with.
Yeah, I'm talking about like
They have love potions too.
They do, but I'm saying like Freemasonry teaches not to hurt anyone, right?
Yeah, but technically they're sticking pins in dolls.
Fair enough. Fair
I
enough.
don't know.
Well, golden rule kind of stuff, right? I mean, even the Old Testament has that eye for an eye kind of like vengeful, wrathful God thing. Like we still,
I mean, they did kind of hang JC on a freaking cross. So.
Joe Schultz, I've been to
religion
Haiti
is
a lot.
perfect.
It is not compatible, according to Joe Schultz.
Okay.
And we've got some calls for computer-generated robo voices. Somebody said they generated robo voice equals Ken.
What the hell?
That was HR.
I didn't see.
What is
Keith
going on with
Noonan,
you
love
people
potions,
lately?
sign me up. I mean, that's music coffee. He might practice. He must believe in love potions and spells.
I'm gonna leave that one alone. I'm behaving.
Golden rule: he who owns the gold makes the rules. Greg Schultz.
I'm just wondering, like, we should do an episode on that. Voodoo and Masonry, if it'll work.
Why not?
I think that'd be a good.
We
Might be
could.
a short episode if we read into it.
Like,
Yeah,
hey,
okay,
in today's episode, is Voodoo compatible with Freemasonry?
We'll
could talk
do
super-
our we can do our research beforehand, and then we'll just be like, yeah, we had to scratch that episode. We
Not compatible.
had to cut that one.
Love potion
Some
number
people
9.
threatened us.
But anyway,
Wow, Keith Noonan's attacking Lee now.
I like. I like this list. My personal favorite. You got one? You guys, one of you boys got one personal favorite here that you would like to visit? There's quite a few of them.
Definitely the George Washington Masonic Memorial in D.C. and the Philadelphia Grand Lodge of Pennsylvania. Would love to visit that.
I'd love to go to the Washington one. Obviously, that's very attainable, but like bucket list, once in a lifetime type thing would be that cave in Israel.
I'm with you
That
on that
would
one.
be
Yep.
really, really
100%.
cool. If only we knew a forensic geologist that might be able to help us out.
I'm with you on that one for multiple reasons. Again, the ancient
there's-
Templars, Masonry, history, like just
Right. That
in
part of the
general.
region is like the cradle of civilization. It's the cradle of Freemasonry and lots of things. Like there's a reason why every major religion in the world
Stems from it. Yeah.
holds that part of the world holy.
Even
Like
to
the-
walk those footsteps in
Right.
that, like that would
Yeah.
be
How many
worth
other
the
people
trip
would-
Think of the
alone.
amount of people who've been
Yeah.
there before.
Yeah.
For how long too? You said some of it they think it might have been the quarry for Solomon's temple.
Yeah.
I mean, you're going back thousands of years.
Yep.
No, I personally, the tour guide would be like, "Oh, yeah, no, right over here around this corner." Oh, you hear of the guy with the metal detector,
Oh.
the headphones on with the glasses. He's like, "What are you doing?"
I thought that'd be you carving your initials in the wall.
Yeah.
The puppet was here. PG was here.
No, I'd be the one going around with the wee right, the metal detector,
You and
looking for shit in the floor.
you and who was Gary Dryden from
Gary
From
Drayton. Drayton?
something like the guy
Gary
from Oak
Drayton,
Island.
like that, yeah, the
Drayton,
Oak
yeah, from
Island
Oak
guy.
Island.
Yeah.
That's a top pocket find
Yeah.
from Bobby Dazzler.
Top pocket.
By the way, they're not sucking me in this year. The premiere was last week, and I didn't watch it.
You know what? I'm gonna watch it with my wife because she likes to fall asleep.
I'm gonna watch it. I
Go ahead,
definitely.
let me know.
I have to watch it.
Let me
I
know.
don't think they're there though. I think they got other people doing it for them.
Don't care.
Whatever.
Don't
It's
care.
still just as boring. and she'll still
I'll
fall
get
asleep.
Militech on the phone. In
I
2
hope they
seconds.
fall in a hole.
I call him. It's like, you need to call
That's
Joe.
messed up.
Straighten
House of
him
the
out.
Temple for sure. I want to go to House of the Temple.
That's
I've never
really
been
cool.
there. You guys have.
I've been there. Yeah,
wanna
It's pretty cool actually. I think they changed the address number. I think I said it before. They changed the address number so that 33 was in it.
Yeah.
No, I mean they can do that.
Well, yeah. When you're buying that big a plot of land, you can do whatever you want.
yeah.
You can set
I
whatever
definitely
address
don't
you
want to go to the place in France. That I
No.
no,
Nope.
no ambition.
Nope.
You
We
guys
might have
wanna
to make a trip to
go-
Batavia. That would be funny.
You know, honestly,
How about
one
the
of the
place
cool
in
things,
Memphis, Tennessee? You guys
The
want to
Voodoo
go visit
Village?
that? Voodoo Village.
No good.
I mean, Memphis is a big music town.
I want to go to the
Good.
Holy Land. Can we go to the Holy Land?
Like real
And
Holy Land?
Waterbury, the Waterbury one.
I'll talk to a couple brothers that I know that are affiliated with that particular.
So,
piece
truth
of
be told, I
property.
have like a fascination with seeing old abandoned buildings. Like, for instance, like what do we got? Fairfield Hills up there in Newtown.
Yeah.
Those
Well,
old buildings. That was
Yeah.
used to be a Toontown.
now it's like Parks and Rec department, a
Sweet.
brewery.
It was an asylum.
Yeah,
so you
that's-
look cherry flavored windows and wear helmets and shit. That's right.
No, I don't think the Marines were there.
Ah, there.
Well done.
Crayons, not windows. But I think the German Masonic home of Tappan would be pretty cool to see.
Yeah.
I wouldn't mind
That's
seeing
got to
that.
be somewhere on the Hudson, right? I'm thinking Tappan, New York's got to be
Used to
somewhere
be
in the Hudson
Tappan
River
Zine
Valley.
until they renamed it to
It's
something
still
else.
no, it's the Tappan.
Tappans, I think. So yeah, I think it's right along the Hudson there.
I'm
But
gonna look that up. That's attainable.
Yeah, that's a quick trip.
well, it
That's
says
like an
permanently
hour.
closed, so you can't go there.
No, but you
go
can
in.
see the outside of the building.
Well, it says it looks fine on the outside.
Well, we can go and get
Yeah,
arrested
that'd still be
there.
cool.
inside. I think here's our bucket list. Ready? Break into the cave, come back, storm Charles
I
Island,
don't think you have
Come
to break
back.
into the cave.
take the building, the German Masonic home. I think that's our three.
Yeah, it's opposite side.
Joe's the ginger. He could dress like the Highlander with the skirt and all that stuff, right? The blue
Only
shit
if I get to
on
paint
his
my
face.
face.
man.
Yeah.
I'm gonna stay home. I'm gonna sit this one out.
Ken could be the Viking, right? Because he's
No,
white
I'll
like
just-
No, we
hang
could. It's below West Nyack. It's right on the other side of the Tappan Zee Bridge. It's directly across the river from
Oh, I have a
Dobbs Ferry.
friend in that area. I could make,
Orangeburg, West
I could make
Nyack,
an,
Nanuet.
like a weekend out of that.
Yeah, we
Isn't
can
that
go to-
close to Danny?
We can go. No, Danny's up
He's
near
up
like
north.
Oh,
Rochester.
okay, then I'll go then.
I think he's up near like Syracuse.
I got a friend in Nyack. We could make that
Yeah,
we could make it a thing.
and we can go to the
for the weekend.
I mean, granted, the cave is going to be big money.
go to the
That's
Nanuet
gonna
Mall.
be a,
Well, I mean, we're going to like visit, tour Europe and
but
maybe the Middle East or something.
We could
like that
probably
if we're
hit
gonna do
Tappan
that.
on the way to. Oh, we could totally hit it on the way to Philadelphia and then
Oh, okay. I like
then
that.
DC or Arlington.
Okay,
We
all
can
right,
make
we could plan that
that.
trip out.
We could probably do that in like a weekend.
We just need a good, reliable automobile.
and have to quarantine for 6 months afterwards.
George has got a new car.
I do.
No, actually, if you don't
Joe's
spend
got a good
24
car.
hours in the state, you don't have to quarantine.
Really?
Yeah, less than 24 hours.
Then I'm licking every doorknob all the way through.
God, dude.
Every single door.
You want to lick Rafferty?
Leave it to George to figure out a way for us to be like go and do something completely benign
Stop the
and still get
Cumberland.
arrested for it.
Stop at Cumberland.
Surprise! He's going to get us thrown out of something.
Big surprise.
Surprise!
You get thrown out of 7-Eleven.
He's going to go lick all the hot dogs on the roll.
No, I won't lick them. I'll just lick my finger and then touch each one. Right.
Yeah.
On that note,
Well, I'm just saying, like, with all the amount of shit that I've been shot full of antibiotics and stuff from being in the military, I'm surprised I don't glow green. I might be the cure.
maybe that's why your hair's falling out.
Oh, maybe.
Yeah, that's why there's so many things wrong with you right now.
It's the clapper.
Did we go through all? We went through all 14 of those
We
things.
went through all four.
Okay, good.
Yeah. So now this is just horse shit. It doesn't
Yeah.
work.
All right.
Anyway,
To make-
Anyway,
what do you say, brothers?
let's wrap it
I think
up.
we've
I'll
covered
take it.
this one
I'm
up. If you guys got any other places that you think we should check out, let us know. Write it in the comments and or hit us up on Facebook.
Somebody did
or-
mention in the comments the Detroit Masonic building, which I've seen pictures of, and it's
Oh,
an
yeah.
extremely cool building. And there's a cool story there that they're about to go bankrupt and have to sell the building. And Jack White of the White Stripes bought the building.
Yeah, I
and
remember
sold
that.
it back to him for like a couple bucks because his mother they had a movie theater in there.
Oh wow.
That his mother
Yeah.
was an usher in. And that like helped him out during some really tough times, them employing her there. So he bought the building and said, here.
Which is freaking awesome. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
a great story. I
But
remember
he's like,
reading
here,
about
$5.
that.
Give me here's
Yeah.
you can buy the building.
Yep.
Joseph Schultz. Let's meet in Philly. It's a $10 tour. George can get the children's rate if he doesn't talk.
Well, we need to like honestly, we need to set up some road trips for after this whole COVID thing. Is
Absolutely.
Yes,
like
we
we've
do.
got to,
We have some debts
have a
that
breakout
we have
tour.
some debts to pay. Go ahead.
Yeah,
I know somebody's gonna make a
100%.
Tyrion Lannister or Tywin Lannister joke because I said paying our debts, right?
No, it's not so much paying our debts. I think we're
No, because he was other than Lannister always pays his debts, right? I thought there was gonna be a midget joke about me somewhere in there, but
Yeah,
not
no,
because I said we got some debts to pay, like for the widow's sons up there up north.
If only we
Yeah.
could get like
yeah, that's true. We have
upstate New York,
promises. that are
Shriners, we got
unfulfilled,
some
yeah.
promises that are unfulfilled with all this crap being shut down. But anyway, joke
if only we could get like a tour bus or something. That would be cool.
with the puppet on the side. That's
Yeah.
it, just the puppet.
The Podcast Express.
I might.
My only problem is it would look like in what was that Major League, the Cleveland Indians bus. Where they all freaking run down.
No, it'd be imaged as something completely different. and then we'd have like the black and white banner that says podcast in front of Express.
Right.
And it'd have all the old damaging and everything still on it.
I may have a source for such a bus.
So,
Oh,
all right, brothers. What do you say?
let's wrap it up.
Let's wrap it up for the Freemasons podcast. I am Right Worshipful Brother George Mudry signing off.
Worshipful Brother Joe signing off.
And Worshipful Brother Ken signing off.
Have a good night, everyone.
Good night, everybody.
Good night, YouTube.
Good night, YouTube.
Good night, YouTube.
Check us out on
Thanks for,
Patreon.
We love you. Get on Slack.
yeah, thanks for
That's where it's at.
Smash that
thanks
like
for joining us. Have a good night.
Slack.
Slack.
Ah, shit. That was funny.
Oh, I gotta stop leaning forward into the